We're talking about people when these ones come in. Well, oftentimes the court cards lead us to be talking about people. And these two could be a married couple, or they could be family members, because they're a husband and wife, essentially, the king and queen of cups. They're often your sign or your energy, because of course it's the water energy coming through. So this may be you emulating yourself, and it could be that for some of you, you feel quite in a good position, as if you are able to procure or put out those energies that both the king and the queen are giving when they are in their mode of most beneficial operandi, per se. So if we read, for instance, on there, you can see that it says loving. The queen is loving, comforting, emotional and intuitive, and the king is honourable, devoted, mature and warm-hearted. Some of the other things they say about it is listen to your heart, intuitive insights you can trust, taking care of others, perhaps too much, a romantic partner you can trust, excellent advice that comes from the heart, getting involved in a cultural or creative endeavour. So I feel some of you might be heart awakened in this month of June, or you might open your heart to something, and it might be a giving or caring or nurturing perspective. For some of you, it might be for people in your lives, like family members or charities, or something that you feel really impassioned about. So something that sets you alight, or you're driven to be involved with. Now, of course, this is a general reading, so you will have to feel into where that's most connecting with you. For others of you, you may possibly meet one of these type of people coming in, and it might well be another water sign, or it could be a water rising, or it could be a moon or rising sign that they might have as well with their water sign. So some of you might find new love coming in. You might find your heart opened to the experiences of and the energy wave of love coming into your life, because these two really do bring out the harmony of love to you. With the High Priestess, she is trusting your intuition, careful reflection before taking action, and insights that come through meditation. And I was going to say manifestation, so perhaps that is also a possibility. She is gaining esoteric knowledge. She's also gaining power and insight, wisdom and understanding about her own journey, her abilities and how successful she can be. So some of you might be waking to these aspects, and especially when we see this king and queen here, they are walking through life at their very best level of awareness and attainment and ability. They understand that they can procure things for themselves or manifest things. So they are in this golden glow, if you like, of capability and of knowing about themselves and what they can do and offer and who they can be. So these three here go really well together, and they offer this strength behind the actual reading. With her sitting there and that book on her lap and the knowledge that is empowered through that, she also learns to trust her intuition, to seek esoteric understanding, to be involved in sometimes that avenue of connection. So we talk about synchronistic energies, of coincidences, if you like, of becoming higher in your frequency field to bring in these kind of awareness or psychic interventions or connection. So some of you may be growing in that way, you may be operating in that way, you may be finding that you are experiencing more from your third eye or crown chakra, of course, which these colours really reverberate as well. That's that deep kind of purpley through to the mauve colour, or even the violet colour field from the third eye through to the crown chakra. So these energies might come to you in the month of June, and you could feel more in tune with yourself, or more awakened to the possibilities that you can manifest more. There was a saying I learned many years ago, and it was called thoughts become realities. And this is kind of what the High Priestess is teaching you, that how you think becomes your reality, and how you connect with your thoughts or your higher self or your celestial helpers or the the universe as it connects to your field, your energy field. That's how you become who you are, where you want to head, and your dreams and aspirations in life. It was also a great card to open with. There's a lot of power up here in these three. And then we move, of course, to this one beside them, move out a little bit, to the Princess of Autumn. So again, she's a well-considered card. She's one of the earth signs, or the pentacles. She's studious, responsible, cheerful, and mischievous. Happy news about your career, promotions, or scholarships. Well thought out plans that go perfectly, needing a little push to get going. Again, she's grounded, she's thinking, she's intellectual, she's using her knowledge, like the High Priestess over here. She's gaining insight and awareness. Even though she's at the younger end of life than these three, she is also using her intelligence to formulate ways forward. So some of you might be finding this. You are moving through areas of life where you are gaining control or regaining control, or experience or education or learning or higher awareness or understanding. I love the top row up here. I'm feeling it's quite transcendental for you, but also quite literal as being here in the here and now, and it could be deployed to things like career opportunities, or to exams, or to sitting degrees at a university, or undertaking something that gives you more knowledge, strength and power. There's a lot of power in all of this up here, and especially if it's originating from the heart, because the heart is where the true love comes from. And when we do something from love energy, it has the most power of anything, and it takes us the most further afield. So this could be related to new potential energy around careers. It could be relationships. It could be support and nurture coming in, or support and nurture that you are giving others. And it may even include someone like this younger person. It could be a child, a sibling, a relative, a workplace person that you are working with, or you are mentoring. Some of you might move into the role of mentorship and be like a caregiver or a guardian for someone. It could be an extended family member or someone within a charity, and the charity thing keeps coming up as well. So I'm unsure exactly where that fits for some of you. But if we move down to this one, and we see these three swords all in a row, and interestingly enough, when I pulled a couple of cards before the reading started, you did get a swords card, and for some reason I knew I had to pay attention to it, and it was the 9 of swords. So you got one higher up, then you got the ace, and then you've got the 3 as well. So the ace, of course, is a great card. It's an ace. Like all aces, they give this sense of freedom or new beginning or opportunities. The Ace of Swords often comes to us after something has been a bit tenuous, or we have worked hard to achieve it. So it can be that we've been putting a lot of time or effort into something, whether it was like obtaining a degree, or getting a promotion within a job, or finding a new job, or having started a new business, or designing something that's finally coming to fruition. It can also be the example of a divorce taking place and receiving the divorce papers, the dissolution of a business that was once up and running but needed to be dissolved, and this can be the final dissolution coming through. It can be selling a house that you needed the finance for, and the money comes through for that. So do you see what I mean when I say it's really positive, but often because something has finally come to a close. It's a closing chapter that opens a new door. So a lot of the other aces are brand new awakenings without a closing chapter involved. But this one is definitely a closing chapter, moving into something new. It says here, don't be deterred by challenges along the way. It's important to communicate clearly and accurately, and amazing new ideas that should be implemented. So utilize that ace. It's in the middle of these two, and then we'll move to the energies of those. So the 10 of Swords, it says the resolution of difficulties, a weight lifted off your shoulders, and the end of an addiction or codependency. So that is actually saying very much what I was just saying here in the Ace of Swords. It's the ending of something that might have been arduous or difficult, and it's come to this climax that allows a new door to be opened. And the tens are always about that. They're about moving into the next chapter. So it's saying goodbye to something old and welcoming the new. It can come as a bit of a shock, the Ten of Swords, and it can come as feeling let down, sometimes unexpectedly, by a very close person in your life, such as a friend or possibly an intimate partner, possibly a family member or a close co-worker. And this Three of Winter Swords over here kind of connects with the 10. It often says, reach out to others for comfort and love. You will grow stronger from this situation and sadness that will heal with time. Now, this card traditionally has a heart on it with 3 swords through it. So it is often emotionally impactful, and we can feel it at the heart level. But you've got all this amazing heart growth or nurture or protection on this top line. So I feel that if you do go through something this month, whether it be finding out that a friend or a family member you once had is ready to move on in life, you accept it, or you are buoyed up by this other generosity of love coming in, or support or nurture one way or another. It could well be that you are the one who supports others at this time who might be going through some sort of transition or loss as well. And so that you are this person up here with the knowledge, the compassion, the caring, the heart, the strength and the emotion to give to others. I do think that relationships are on your mind, and that will happen in this month of May and June, because bear in mind, I'm doing these readings in May, so the energy field is alive and active from the time I do the readings. So I know for a lot of you, I didn't get May's ones up in April. So take this as being May and June as well. So this energy field will start to become alive and active as soon as you kick into it. There is a bit to think about when you get 3 swords in a row. The swords are communication. They are about how we feel in life, how we deal with situations, and situations that can crop up around us. And oftentimes they are associated with relationships one way or another, whether they be personal relationships or intertwined into work, business type relationships. And the communication can be verbal, but it can also come in the written realm. So there's certainly a lot of activity around you in May or June that these things may kick off on in. Sometimes this one is feeling quite flat, sometimes a bit down or depressed, even sometimes needing to give yourself a bolster, whether it be energy, meditation, time out, sometimes a minor operation, or going to see someone like a Reiki practitioner or healer or acupuncture. You might get sore neck or back in particular, and it may need realignment to allow the flow of energy through your body. So some of you may have chakra blocks in this month, and this may all come up in part because of the eclipses that we're going through as well. Because remember, I said the eclipses will draw out unexpected or hidden energy that we haven't been watching or listening to. Ponder upon which card is talking to you the most, which one you think has the biggest message for you. There's no doubt that when you tune in for a reading, in my mind, the readings give us ammunition to head into the month coming up, and they give us ideas and concepts about how to deal with certain things that might pop into our life. So they're strategy workers, if you like. They can help you strategize certain situations that may pop up, and some that you wish to deal with in a certain way, and others you might put in a box over here, and so on. So I will move these cards aside and we will see what is next out for you guys. I won't put them away because we may refer to them again. But we will now look at the Tony Celerino Gods, Goddesses and Angels cards. So this is for Cancer. This is also, of course, for Moon and Rising Cancers, and also for cross watchers as well. So feel free, whoever wants to, enjoy the energies of the reading. There's a whole lot going to go again. Just like the last, when we did the last shuffle, there were a lot of ones that wanted to technically jump out. Angel of New Life is your first one out. And we could see that with the Ace, and we could also see that with the 3. An exciting new chapter in your life is about to unfold. Some of you, when we talked about the relationship and the 3 of winter down here, sometimes this card does mean that relationships may be parting ways, as does the 10 of Swords, and that you come to a conclusion that it is just better to move on and that there are new beginnings. And the next card out was the Angel of New Life, saying an exciting new chapter is about to begin. You've also got an Angel of Support. The universe has heard your silent call for help. Then we have the Angel of the Universe. You are being encouraged to expand your thinking. And when you start getting cards that really duplicate the same messages, that's exactly what the High Priestess is. She is awareness, awakening, understanding at the greatest of the galactic and universal realms of esoteric information, and that is the same as the Angel of the Universe. Very similar messages that you're getting. Beautiful support coming in for you from that middle angel. So if you are in need of help or you're wanting help at all, call out to them, ask for support and help, whether it be new ideas, manifestation of something, the healing of something. What else is in here for Cancer? The Goddess of Psychic Protection and the Goddess of Compassion. So the Psychic Protection, it says what you believe you create, no one can harm you. Also, she's very tuned in here to the third eye activation and listening to your intuitive abilities, which we've talked about up here and possibly with this card. So just be aware that sometimes we do allow negative thoughts or worries to overtake us, and that can be when we see too many of the sword cards come in, such as the 10 of Swords and the 9, which you also got in the pre-shuffling of the actual reading. So if some of you are letting fears or worries or anxieties take over, and you think that something can't happen, or you think you're being blocked by something else, don't allow those thoughts to come in. You offer yourself protection, but also know there is protection around you. And the more positively you think and the more of that manifestation of positivity you bring in, then the more you will manifest of that. And remember, I said at the beginning, thoughts become realities. We are what we think. So utilize that little saying and mantra as well. We've got the Goddess of Compassion. Self-criticism is diminishing your sense of self-worth. This is actually, I might read to you from the book about this. You can feel depleted and a lack of self-worth if you have been through something like this, where you might have found that friends or companions or family members for some reason go a bit sour on you, or they turn your back on you, or you feel as though it has happened. It may be a perspective that you're feeling, but may not be as big as what as it appears. It could be that you misinterpret their signals, or it could be that they're having a bad time themselves and they're closing off or shutting down because they're trying to deal with their own perspectives, and that makes us feel vulnerable, and we often go, what have I done wrong? Why aren't they befriending me anymore, or why haven't I seen them, or why don't they invite me to their events? It can just be that they're going through a hard time as well. So there's always two sides to every story, but sometimes we can find ourselves in this place of self-criticism. And as I say, especially if we've been through something where people have perhaps not valued us enough for their own reasons, and it leaves us pondering, are we good enough? The answer to that is yes. And when relationships come to an end for whatever reason, it's just the closing of one door and another one always opens, and it doesn't mean that you are not worthy. So let's read the Goddess of Compassion, because I think she could be quite important for some of you. The Goddess of Compassion has shown up in your reading to ask you to be more compassionate towards yourself. At the core of every living thing, only love exists. Your personality and the role you play in this life is only transitory. and ultimately an illusion. All that you perceive to be good or bad are necessary aspects of who you are. Positive and negative qualities exist in everyone and in everything. A more accurate description of positive and negative is yin and yang. For in reality there is neither positive nor negative, only opposite qualities which together make us whole. Self-criticism is diminishing your sense of self-worth and keeping you in the illusion that you need to improve in order to be worthy of success, happiness or fulfillment. Have compassion, love and accept all of who you are, as you are, and stop striving for something that is impossible to attain. Through love, your life magically transforms. And I think that impossibility to attain message is the impossibility to please other people. Your life isn't here to please others, but it is most definitely here to please yourself. And that, first and foremost, is the most important aspect. And from there, all things grow and flourish and bloom. So I'm also picking up a lot, other than this one card over here, which was the first one, which is the Angel of New Life. So much in here has still got this mauvey, purpley colour palette going on. So I am getting the feeling of you guys really connecting in or tuning into the third eye and utilising your power to connect to the cosmic and the psychic realms, because Cancer, after Scorpio, you two are the most powerful in terms of that.